I've been away for a little less than a week. I've been busy with some IRL stuff, so I haven't really been able to keep up with the latest news that's going on social media. And one of the big things that came out this week revolves around a pretty popular streamer known as Pokimane. I'm sure you guys have heard of Pokimane. If you haven't, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but she's been like a pretty big name in specifically the Twitch streaming scene for quite a few years at this point. But in any case, there was some big news that kind of came out in regards to Pokimane earlier this week. And I guess we'll start right at the beginning. The first thing that kind of popped off, this was tweeted out on January 30th. They tweeted out, "The end of an era. Twitch has been my home for a decade, but it's time to say thank you for all the memories and love during my League, Fortnite, and Among Us days." And they show a screenshot of the Twitch app in the Apple App Store here. So it looks like they were announcing their departure from Twitch, a place that they've been streaming for many years at this point. Oh shit! Oh shit! So a lot of people saw this and were like, holy shit, obviously the social media sort of like sphere started speculating on what was going to happen. I seen like there was some viral post that said that she was going to sign an exclusive deal with Kick for like millions of dollars, and turns out that was completely bogus, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But we got a response here from the official Twitch account. "What an incredible journey it's been. We're so proud of everything you've accomplished and what's ahead in the future. You'll always have a home on Twitch, Pokey." To which they responded, "Stop, don't make me cry more." So I think that like even before we knew where she was going to be going, it was pretty obvious that she was leaving Twitch at this point. And I have some thoughts on why this is happening. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But having said that, before we go ahead and we get into that, I want to take a look at the follow-up tweet the next day. So this is what they had to say on the next day on Twitter. "Let's explore something new together. No strings attached. First ever YouTube stream tomorrow, February 1st at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you there." So they did announce that they were going to be streaming on YouTube moving forward. Oh shit! Oh shit! Streaming on YouTube. And they started with this whole like YouTube streamers versus Twitch streamers showdown. I tuned into a little bit of the stream just to kind of see how it was going. Wasn't really my cup of tea, so I didn't stick around all that long. But yeah, there was just a bunch of like streamers. You can pretty much see all the big name streamers that they had features on the stream here. I got to be honest, some of these people I don't even know. I'm familiar with Ryan Higa, Lily Pichu, Myth, and Ludwig, and of course Pokimane. I don't really know the other people. I've never heard of these other people before, but in any case, they kind of did a big stream collab with a bunch of these people here. She went on to say, "Here are my thoughts on all streaming platforms, exclusivity contracts, and more in my new podcast episode." And I did listen to the podcast episode that she links here. We're not going to listen to it here, but most of it kind of went into like how a lot of these like deals work, where like streamers will sign exclusive contracts for streaming platforms. We really saw this sort of thing really take off when Mixer was around. It seemed like the first big acquisition for Mixer was Ninja, and we saw how well that went. Ninja went from having like, what was it, like 20, 30,000 live viewers on Twitch, and they moved over to Mixer, and they got a lot of, viewership in the first week or so, but it quickly dipped down to like, they were getting like 1,000 or 2,000 live viewers, which, hey, for a streamer like me, I'd be fucking happy with that. You know what I'm saying? But for a streamer like Ninja, who was getting like 20 or 30 live viewers on Twitch, to dip all the way down that far, like that was pretty big yikes for sure. But I liked it, that whole competition between a lot of the streaming platforms, kind of like, this platform would sign an exclusivity deal with Ninja, and this platform would get an exclusivity deal with Pokimane. This platform would get an exclusivity deal with, insert any streamer name here, right? Like I loved seeing that kind of stuff because it kind of reminded me of like wrestling back in the late 90s and early 2000s, back when, WCW and WWF were fighting with each other to try and get, each other's talent and stuff like that. Which is funny because we're going to be talking about the WWF a little bit later, but not, not on such nostalgic terms. But in any case, I did listen to the podcast. A lot of it was talking about how these exclusivity deals work. A lot of it was talking about how a lot of these companies aren't really signing these deals anymore, and how, like, the business works as a whole. And a lot of my speculation about, like, why she decided to do the move to YouTube, because she did not sign an exclusive deal with YouTube. She doesn't have an exclusivity contract with YouTube. She's basically just leaving Twitch. Her contract is up. She's leaving Twitch and she's streaming on YouTube. And she talks about, like, some of the different reasons why that's happening, some of the policies that she's not too fond of on Twitch, among various other reasons. But, like, my theory is just, like, look, it was either they went to her or she went to them when her contract was about to expire, and they were just like, look, we don't really do exclusivity deals anymore, so we're not going to, like, re-sign you on an exclusivity contract. And at that point, she's like, okay, I'm out. I'm going to YouTube then. I'm going to try to accomplish some new things on YouTube, which a lot of streamers are doing now, especially since they kind of opened up the whole, like, multi-streaming thing. A lot of streamers are, like, multi-streaming now. Like, obviously I'm doing that. I'm currently broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch, which that's something that they didn't allow for the longest time. Now, granted, a lot of smaller streamers, myself included, we would do it anyway. But under the contracts, you weren't supposed to do that, and they finally opened that up recently. That's one thing I will say about the current CEO. It seems like he's kind of loosening up a lot of the policies one by one that people haven't been too fond of in the past. He's starting to loosen those up, and things are starting to get a little bit better for Twitch, but not great. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyway, that was just kind of to sum up what the podcast was about. Again, we're not going to watch the whole podcast, but one thing I did want to point out from the podcast is actually something I tweeted out the day the podcast went live. I said, Pokimane out here teasing some sort of nuke she intends to drop on an unnamed Twitch employee. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at this. I want to play this clip because I heard this, and when I was listening to it, because I was kind of, like, working on some other things, I was kind of listening to it in the background just to see if anything noteworthy came up. And this was the only thing where I'm like, this is, like, super noteworthy. I'll actually want to kind of bring this up whenever I cover this on stream. Because it kind of caught my attention, and I kind of had to run it back. And did I hear what I just thought I heard? And kind of play it again. And sure enough, it was exactly what I thought I heard. So anyway, enough dilly-dallying. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys and let you guys hear what Pokey had to say. So without further ado,
play that shit!
Here we go.
Side note, there was something absolutely batshit crazy that happened with a Twitch employee that I haven't fully publicized yet. But now that my contract is over, I am considering doing that in another soon podcast episode. But I didn't talk about it at the time, frankly, because I feel like Twitch gets enough negative PR and I didn't want to add to that. And again, I had a close working relationship with them and it just didn't feel like the right time. But now that it happened a while ago, it's a wild story, but it would make for a good story. Side note.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. She's kind of teasing something that happened between her and a Twitch employee, that now that she is not under contract with them anymore, now she feels more comfortable talking about it, and she's considering potentially talking about it in the future. There's been a lot of speculation about this. What is this, like, she had a bad interaction with a Twitch employee, maybe she asked for something and they didn't give her way, maybe something more serious like a Me Too like situation or something. We don't know, but she's teasing potentially talking about this. So I guess I'm going to have to keep an eye on Pokimane's podcast to find out what the fuck she's talking about and see if she actually does come out and talk about this, because geez, I have no idea what this is about, but she seems to be teasing something. So that'll be really interesting for sure. Now, one of the things I mentioned is, like, in the podcast, she talked about how, like, Twitch isn't really doing exclusivity deals anymore. One, there's not a whole lot of benefit to doing them. Honestly, I don't think the platform saw any significant growth or raise in viewership whenever they would sign someone exclusive. We saw that again with Ninja. Ninja got signed over to Mixer, and he got an initial boost of viewership, but after the honeymoon phase, it kind of dropped off dramatically. The same thing happened with Shroud when he signed over to Mixer as well. We've seen streamers get signed over to Facebook, and Facebook, like, I don't know why they're still doing streaming, because they get no traction at all. Funny enough, like, the kind of streams that get attention on like Facebook are people who are like shilling products. So they're like selling like makeup or like selling on live stream, various different, like I said, products and stuff like that. Those are the kind of streams that do well on Facebook. People don't go to Facebook to watch gaming streams. Okay. I can't recall a single time I've ever gone to Facebook to watch a gaming stream. I don't know. Like, we even see, like, remember DLive? Which DLive is still around, which amazes me, because they must have, like, I don't know, maybe 50 people watching on the entire website at any given time. They're still around, but, like, remember when they signed PewDiePie? And that did literally nothing for them whatsoever, right? So my point is, though, that I'm getting at, I know I started to ramble there a little bit. My point was, these exclusivity deals don't really help the platforms all that much. It's kind of a waste of money for them to invest in these exclusivity deals. Thank you for that sub.
Join the Kuma Nation.
Thank you.
Tipsed 4, wiggle 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 tipsed 4, wiggle. Thank you for the awesome streams. Keep it going.
Thank you very much for that. That was very weird. That was very fucking weird, but thank you very much for that Twitch sub. I do appreciate it. But these exclusivity deals weren't helping growth of the platforms at all, so it doesn't really benefit them. But not only that, and I seen somebody in the chat reference this a second ago, the Twitch CEO recently commented on how the company's really not doing all that well. We recently heard some announcements about them laying off a bunch of employees. In fact, I have a friend that I know that actually works at Twitch, and I try to reach out to them to see, hopefully their position is okay or whatever. I didn't get a response from them, so hopefully we hear good news about that. Fingers crossed. But they're doing a bunch of layoffs, and on top of that, like the Twitch CEO apparently said that the company's not even profitable. Oh, shit! Oh, shit. That's not very good. I mean, though, if you really think about it, YouTube went many, many years before they reached profitability as well. So I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. But in any case, I wanted to kind of show you guys some of this stuff. We got this video by Streamer TV, Twitch in Crisis, profitability, woes, and layoffs. If you guys want to check this out later without my commentary, I'll post a link in the chat. And I'll try to remember to put a link in the description as well for those of you guys watching this as a YouTube video. But without further ado,
Play that shit!
Here we go.
First up in the news, we have the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy. Now, in a major shake-up, Twitch and the popular live streaming platform has announced plans to lay off 500 employees, roughly about 35% of its workforce. This news comes...
I think this is a really sad thing we're seeing, like, in various, like, mostly the tech sector. We're seeing a lot of jobs in the tech sector, people getting laid off and stuff like that. We're seeing like hundreds of people in some companies, thousands of people in others. The games industry is also being severely impacted by this as well. It really sucks to see so many people end up without a job. Like the economy isn't super great at the moment. And this is something we predicted. A lot of people kind of saw coming, especially after COVID. Like it seemed like things were initially fine, once the lockdowns kind of ended, but it was one of those things. There was going to be a ripple effect on the economy eventually that was going to result in this sort of thing happening. And now we're seeing the after effects of the pandemic. We're starting to see, people start losing their jobs now, which is really unfortunate. And I obviously I wish all these people who are affected by these layoffs nothing but the best, and hope that they can find some kind of employment elsewhere, because this is awful.
As the company faces challenges in the crowded and competitive market, there are several factors contributing to Twitch's decision to downsize. One is the company's ongoing struggle.
Comment in the chat says, meanwhile, CEOs and executives receive more as a bonus than the company's deficits. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up how that works, right? You see these companies, they're laying off hundreds of potentially thousands of employees, and all these budget cuts and things that they're doing to try and cut corners and whatnot. But the top executives of the companies, they still get their bonuses, and they still benefit the same way they would prior to all that, if not more. It's kind of fucking nuts.
To turn a profit. Despite its massive user base, Twitch has yet to consistently find a way to monetize its platform effectively. Additionally, the streaming market is becoming increasingly saturated with competitors.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you caught on that previous screenshot, it said that they laid off 500 employees. Oh shit! 500 people were laid off at Twitch.
There's like Kick and YouTube Gaming. Now, the layoffs are expected to have a significant impact on Twitch's employees. Many talented and dedicated individuals will be losing their jobs. The company has stated that it's committed to providing severance packages and outplacement services to those affected. It remains to be seen of what the long-term impact of these layoffs will be on Twitch. Some experts believe that the company may need to undergo a major restructuring in order to become profitable. Others believe that Twitch can...
500 employees is a lot of employees to lose. Right. There's going to be some serious changes within the internal structure of the company to try and keep things operational. Which, let's be honest, Twitch hasn't always been run in a great way. That's putting it lightly. We've seen a lot of their moderation team make some really crazy decisions where, someone will get banned for something that another streamer doesn't. And there's just not a whole lot of consistency. And there's been a lot of technical issues lately. It's crazy to see, and this was before the layoffs. They were having all of these problems. Now that they're having the layoffs, can you imagine how much worse some of these issues are going to be? Oh boy, as somebody who uses Twitch as a platform, I'm currently streaming to Twitch right now. I'm not looking forward to this.
Will rebound and emerge stronger from this challenge. In the latest news, the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, speaks about the whole of Twitch platform that some find concerning.
We really need to run the company based upon where we're at today. We implied this before, where we say we need to run it sustainably, but I'll be blunt. We aren't profitable at this point. Amazon has been extremely supportive of Twitch.
That is obviously a very, very concerning statement. That's a very concerning statement, because how long has Twitch been in business? At least I know they started out as Justin TV. When was Twitch founded? I know they started off as Justin TV, but when did they become Twitch? So it says it was founded in 2011, right? Founded in 2011, and they were acquired by Amazon in 2014. Yeah, August of 2014 is when Amazon bought them. Wow, I didn't realize it's going on a decade that Amazon's had them, which sounds about similar to what happened with Google and YouTube. You have to remember, Google bought YouTube less than a year after the platform launched, and they went through a long phase too of non-profitability. They ran for a really long time where YouTube wasn't making any money, right? And eventually they got to a point where they were profitable many, many, many years later. But I think that's kind of what we're seeing here with Twitch as well, where, yeah, they're not profitable at the moment, but if they're able to kind of steer the ship around, and so far I like a lot of the things that the new CEO is doing, the current CEO. So, excuse me. Sorry, I've been drinking Diet Coke. It gives me mad burps. My apologies. Oh my God. Anyway, I've been liking some of the decisions that the new CEO is making. I think he can really turn the ship around if he keeps playing his cards the way they are. Like I said, the biggest thing has been lifting up a lot of these policies that people don't like the whole you can't multi-stream thing. The thing I would really like to see changed, as somebody who covers trending news on my stream, I would love to see the whole not being able to react to or have someone on as a guest on your stream who's been banned on Twitch before. I understand not wanting streamers to ban evade and stuff like that, and that's understandable, right? Somebody's been banned from your platform. You don't want them ban evading and creating new accounts and continuing to stream on alt accounts and stuff like that. But what I don't understand is like, okay, you have some streamers like myself who cover trending news, or you have streamers who cover, politics content. And some of the content they cover involves other content creators who have been previously banned on the platform. And people are just expected to not cover those streamers because, they've been banned, so you can't talk about them on Twitch. That is one of the most annoying fucking policies ever. So I'd like to see that changed. I'd like to even see the ability to have a banned streamer on as a guest. I think that's asking a bit much. But I'd like the ability to potentially have a banned streamer on as a guest at some point. I don't really see having someone on as a guest as ban evasion. But Twitch does at the moment. So I'm hoping that's one of those rules that gets lightened up a little bit later down the line. Because like YouTube, for example, if I wanted to host somebody on my stream as a guest just for one stream that has been banned on YouTube, I can do that. And it's not going to result in me getting banned or, any kind of punishment or anything like that. But on Twitch, you do. So I'm really hoping that's going to be one of the next rules that they lighten up. Even if they don't allow you to have a banned streamer on as a guest, at the very least, I would like to be able to react to a banned streamer's content. Like, just to give an example, what if Destiny does a debate that I'm interested in? We just saw an example of this where Dylan Burns got banned for reacting to a Destiny debate. I would love to be able to react to Destiny debates on my stream. But I can't do that because if I do, I risk getting banned. And I, for obvious reasons, don't want to do that. So it would be nice to see those rules kind of, I guess, loosened up a little bit. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Like, big thing for being sustainable over time is ensuring that we don't lose money. And that's a big part of my job because that's going to be what makes sure we can be here for a long term. We've been very clear about the importance of our efforts to try and continue to provide more resources to streamers.
What are you guys' thoughts on Dan Clancy's response and the future of Twitch? Let me know in the comment section.
All right, so that's kind of like where Twitch is at right now. It's not looking good. Like, if it was just a case of them saying, hey, we're not profitable yet, you can kind of make the comparison that I made before to like YouTube and say, oh, well, it took a while for YouTube to get profitable as well. So, eventually, they'll get profitable too, as long as they are able to make the right decisions moving forward. Granted, it doesn't look so well. While there are some decisions they've made fairly recently that were well received, not all of them were. Who remembers the artistic nudity policy where they were allowing artistic nudity? And I remember like the day that new policy went live, the first thing that happened, I was scrolling through the just chatting section, and one of the top streams that I saw was somebody drawing like furry nude art, and it was like a fox with a massive throbbing dripping cock. Oh shit! Like, and it was less than a week that they reverted that. They're like, oh man, that's no good. We really fucked up on this one. We need to rewind that shit back. Fuck that noise. But anyway, back to Pokimane real quick. So she did her first stream on YouTube yesterday, and I don't know if she streamed today. I didn't bother to look or whatever, but she did stream today, or yesterday rather, at the time of this recording. And I want to say she had anywhere from, it kept fluctuating between 8,000 to 10,000 live viewers. So she was doing pretty well. And the stream VOD has racked up 241,000 views, which is pretty impressive for a stream VOD. So she's doing okay on YouTube so far. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that move works out for her. Because again, we've seen streamers move to other platforms in the past, and they have pretty decent viewership when they first move over, and things just kind of fall off a cliff after a while. So it'll be interesting to see if we see that trend with Poki, where she's able to either maintain those numbers, like someone like, Ludwig's been able to do. If you watch him stream, he's been able to maintain his numbers pretty well since his move over here. Or if she's going to fall off the cliff, like we've seen other streamers who've made moves, like Myth. Like, holy shit. I don't know if anybody watches Myth, but like Myth used to get pretty good viewership on Twitch. And since he made the move to YouTube, like, sometimes I get more viewers than that fucking guy. Oh, and I have like a dead ass channel. But in any case, I think that's really what's happening here. I think that like Twitch in a sense, because of the layoffs and because of the non-profitability and the refusal to sign more exclusivity contracts, I think it's starting to look like a sinking ship to bigger streamers. And I think we'll see more bigger streamers make the move to YouTube as their current contracts expire. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when, like, you know, a big fish like, you know, maybe a Hassan, when their contract expires, because I think they're still under contract, or maybe, you know, some other big streamers that have exclusive contracts. It'll be interesting to see what happens and what they do when their contracts start to expire. So I guess we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens.
Play that shit! Hipster!